Hi, my name is Jacob, and today I'm going to be doing my first ever game review on Metro Exodus. Now, keep in mind that this is my first ever review, so there may be flaws in my review. And sadly, I cannot show any gameplay and only trailers because I forgot to record my own gameplay and I don't want to steal gameplay footage from other people because that could lead to many mishaps. So, if this review goes successfully, I'll make sure to put in gameplay footage of myself playing in our next review. And keep in mind, this is my opinion, not facts. And if you think differently than me, why not share your opinion in the comments section? Well, without further ado, let's start the review. Exodus is a AAA first-person shooter developed by 4A Games. It is the third game in the Metro series, and it is a direct sequel to Metro Last Light. The Metro series is actually based on a novel series written by Dmitry Glukhovsky. The game released February 15, 2019 and is currently for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. In this review, we'll be discussing many different aspects of the game, as well as my likes and dislikes, and in the end of the review, I'll give a final score out of 10. First up, the story. The game takes place after a nuclear war, reducing humanity's population to just 50,000, who are now all living in the metro of a town named Moscow. Or so that's what you think. After 20 years, you and your wife Anna discover a moving train on the surface, and find out that there's humans living on the surface. With this discovery, you, your wife, and your crew embark on a journey on a train called the Aurora to seek for a better place to live on the surface and start a new life. Throughout this journey, you have to fight your way through many monsters, the severe weather of the changing seasons, as well as many enemies, and maybe a few surprises. Depending on how you fight throughout this game will affect your ending. Now, the characters. The characters in Metro Exodus are just amazing. They have strong personalities that are just amazing and you really do feel a bond with them. And the characters truly are memorable. My favorite being Miller, Anna's father. And what's so well done about them is that when you come back from a journey to get ready for the next, you can spend about 30 minutes just talking to all the characters because the dialogue is so great and is really worth your time. Well done. Performance. How does this game perform? On PS4 Pro, my personal experience, it runs at a steady 30 frames per second at 4K resolution. The game obviously runs its best on PC, so if you're willing to spend the extra money, Metro Exodus would run amazingly on PC. PS4 and Xbox One run about the same, almost like PS4 Pro. Throughout my playthrough, the game only crashed once, so that's pretty good. Now when it comes to bugs, there are many bugs in the game, but maybe that's because I played it on its first few days. I did in fact come across a game-breaking bug with my friend where we had to restart the whole game after we were already a good 5 hours into it. So, yeah. Guess how that happened. I jumped in between two carts of a train and got stuck. Sound. The sound effects are pretty good, and the guns sound pretty regular to me. But when you're inside a small structure and a character talks to you, his echoes sound pretty overkill. Also, I have a small issue. The footsteps. I hear way too many footsteps when I walk. And when I run, sounds like there's 3 dudes behind me chasing me from behind. So I frequently looked behind me just to figure out it's my own footsteps. On a brighter note, when you're underground, the sounds are amazing. You can hear the rats running about. You hear water dripping from up top. It's amazing. As for music, it only really plays when you're in a fight or when you're close to bandits. Except for the final chapter. The music in the final chapter. Oh my god. I get so terrified. More on that later. Overall, sound is good. Textures and atmosphere. Alright. This is where Metro Exodus really shines. With no hesitation, I can say that this is the best looking game I've ever played. Allow me to explain. When you're underground, the game looks stunning, breathtaking. Just the lighting and everything is perfection. And the detail is amazing. You got these spider webs everywhere, and you can use your lighter to burn away the cobweb. And when you do that, it's just so beautiful and satisfying. The atmosphere of the game is so perfect, it's really such an immersive game. The game wants you to feel like you're in its world, and it does great at doing so.
With all the different places you can go to, the atmosphere changes drastically, and it's amazing. And all the monsters look great in this game. The textures are highly detailed, which makes the monsters so damn scary. Except the zombie-like monsters, or whatever they are called. I'd like to spend some time and talk about the mutants in this game, because the mutants are one of Metro's most well-known aspects. There's a good amount of mutants in this game, and they all look very unique from each other, and they make the world you explore so much better. Each map has at least one mutant that you won't find anywhere else. Let me give you an example. The Volga. The Volga is the only place with mutated shrimp or a giant mutated catfish. Yeah. All the mutants are pretty much mutated versions of animals we know. Well, except demons. Demons don't exist. And I guess there's blind ones too. You get what I mean. The mutants are very diverse and terrifying. But there's a problem. I don't think there's enough of them. Out of the 4 places you will explore, there's just not enough mutants. The Caspian, it only had 4 types of mutants. 4! Other than that, the mutants are amazing. Although there lacks a big number of mutants, they all attack you in different ways and they all behave differently and makes the world you explore really feel alive. We've talked about monsters, so why don't we talk about the human enemies? Ah yes, unlike monsters, humans will actually drop useful equipment, so there's actually a reason to kill them this time. When you're fighting human enemies, this is where the stealth aspect comes in play, because you can't be stealthy with monsters. You just gotta go in guns blazing. So with humans, most of the time, you have the option to take them out with stealth, which is highly recommended. Not only is it safer, but you save a lot of ammo by doing so. The stealth aspect in this game is very well done. Darkness is your friend. So whenever you see light, you can put it out, or shoot the damn light bulb. And once all the lights are out, you have many ways to take out your enemies. By takedown, by throwing knives, and more. But if stealth isn't your thing, that's okay. You can go in and shoot everything that moves, if you have the ammo for it. Now there's just one issue about the human enemies, and that's their AI. They're stupid, which can sometimes make gunfights really boring, because the human enemies aren't really quick and they kinda just stay still sometimes. But other than that, human enemies are very fun to come across. Now we're stepping into gameplay, and there's lots to talk about. Guns, crafting, survival mechanics, and difficulty. Metro Exodus offers 5 difficulty levels. Reader, for those that just play for the story, in other words, extremely easy. Then there's easy, and normal, which is the difficulty I played on. And finally, there's hardcore. And if you're not a human, there's Ranger Hardcore. Ranger Hardcore is not only extremely hellishly difficult, but it removes the crosshair, limits the HUD, workshops are hard to find, and weapons wear out quickly. Now this is very important. I highly recommend you play the game on hardcore. Why, may you ask? Metro Exodus is supposed to be hard. You should be low on ammunition. You should be low on medkits. That's just what Metro is made for. If you play the whole game with tons of resources, you don't have that sense of caution, that sense of having to worry. You don't have the sense of Metro. Metro Exodus also has survival mechanics, and they're perfect. No, I'm not talking about hunger bars or first meters. Firstly, it's your gas mask. There's lots of areas in the game where you'll have to wear a gas mask, and your filters are limited. And if you run out of filters, you'll have to craft more, which are very expensive, by the way. The true survival aspect of the game are resources and ammunition, and if you play on hardcore, like I told you to, you always have to think the hard way about how you want to spend your resources, and what you want to do with your ammo. Should I make a medkit, or should I make more bullets? That's what Metro is really good at doing. Crafting. I love crafting in this game. In Metro Exodus, you can craft wherever you want. Although you don't get as many options when you're not at a workshop, you can craft all sorts of things. There's 4 types of throwbows in this game. Molotovs, grenades, throwing knives, and a can. You may ask, why would I need a can? Cans can be used to distract human enemies when you're sneaking around. Pretty clever, huh? You can also craft ammunition instead of just finding it. Bigger bullets will require more resources. Guns in this game are highly customizable. You can customize the stock, the barrel, the scope, the magazine, and you can attach accessories as well. There are a good bit of guns in this game. There's handguns, shotguns, rifles, and special weapons like the pneumatic gun Tinkar or the Helsing crossbow. Guns in this game are so customizable that you can turn a revolver into a sniper rifle. You can attain gun parts by just finding them or killing human enemies, or you can salvage these parts into resources, which have many uses. You also have to clean your weapons on a regular basis to prevent them from jamming at the wrong moment. Something I really like about the guns is that you can swap out their parts at any place, so you can change your weapons to adapt to the situation. Find mutants? Why not put a long barrel on that revolver? Bandits in the area? Then attach a silencer on your rifle. Guns in this game are so in-depth, I haven't seen anything like it. Very well done. And finally, some likes and dislikes. We'll start off with dislikes so we can finish off on a brighter note. Firstly, the Taiga, the third map you get to explore. Sure, it might be beautiful at times, but the map can't be freely explored, and I don't like the missions. They just feel rushed. And my god, the boss of that level is so disappointing. It's dodge, shoot, dodge, shoot. That's it. And I also dislike the vastness of the Caspian. It can be so empty it feels unfinished. I would 100% prefer the second half of the game. As for my likes, my favorite chapter was the Dead City, the final chapter to explore. Although it was heavily scripted like the Taiga, it was so good it was actually better off like this. Just all the new mutants, the atmosphere, the music, it was truly a perfect chapter. And it was very long as well. The characters were also one of my favorite things about the game. They were all just so attachable and yes, very memorable. In conclusion, Metro Exodus is my favorite single player experience so far, and I really hope to see more amazing content with the Metro Exodus expansion pass. The game succeeds in getting you attached to its world and characters, but doesn't do too well with its enemy AI. I highly recommend you buy the game, or if you're a friend of mine, why don't you borrow it? Thanks for listening.